looks like it's shaping up to be a really rough morning for passengers for public transportation. Hope that the JUTC will rise to the occasion and at least put some more buses on the major routes to alleviate the stress, because trust me, it's not a good look based on what we're hearing. 26 and a half now past 6 o'clock. Time for
WTF. What the fact? All right, here I go now. If you sneeze too hard, you could fracture a rib. This makes sense if you really preach, but yes, you see it there? Now, it's not entirely unheard of for coughing or sneezing to cause a rib fracture, but usually that happens in the elderly, people with specific medical illnesses or reduced bone density. And this was said by Adam Sheroff, who is a medical doctor and also a fellow of the American College of Surgeons and also director of the Penn Center for Chest Trauma and an associate professor of surgery. So much thing that I do. Now, and typically, a cough or sneeze-induced rib fracture would be so minor that patients would be sent home with a prescription for a painkiller and the injury would heal itself in a few weeks. Certainly for someone who is healthy and active like Audley. Now, Lou, who is a 56-year-old, classically trained French chef turned brewer, he sneezed so hard that it caused the cartilage connecting his 10th rib to tear, separating it from the costal margin and the rest of the rib cage. So, Richie, Bridge Nation, careful on that sneeze.
Yeah, let me tell you there are several myths surrounding sneezing. I don't know how many have heard of them. Have you heard, for instance, that if you sneeze 7 times in a row, that you will die?
What?
Yeah.
I never know that
and
one.
truthfully, I have never seen someone sneeze 7 times in a row. Like, yuck. Yeah.
Oh, my.
You have done 7?
I've gone.
That's a walking dead.
I'm glad you're here.
No, seriously, Sajay.
I go 4.
Have you done 7 in a row, like back to back to back to back?
Sajay, anybody I call.
One thing I know, if I do say 3 or 4, I feel like my chest plate.
Yeah.
But now, man, I call in sick. Something wrong.
Yeah, man. I've done 4.
4.
Yeah.
I have never seen anyone, and neither have I ever come across anyone, apart from Sajay's now telling us that we will sneeze 7 times in a row.
One I know is that
no bricks.
I know one when you say like if you sneeze, somebody will call your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that one they're like.
There's also one that says if you sneeze, it's a sign of good luck. Does your heart stop when you sneeze?
That's a good question.
Some things that
something stop though.
Yeah,
something stop.
If you sneeze with your eyes open, they say your eyes will not, in fact, pop out. Although some people actually
take that risk there.
There's a lot to do with sneezing, and I need a break right now because I feel like one is coming on. Listen, that was WTF.
What the fact?
We'll be right back. Give them an update. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do.
Hey, I don't know about you, Richie or Bridge Nation. I love a little breakup drama. You see me and say, I love it. And when I say what going on between Burna Boy and Stefflon Don, hey, just grab the popcorn same time. You see me? Can watch that style. Burna Boy tells Stefflon Don to move on after she calls him a mama's boy. Now, Burna Boy is not letting Stefflon Don play with his name and has told her to move on after she posted a TikTok video seemingly shading him and his mother, who is also his manager. Now, on TikTok, Stefflon is seen dancing with another woman, but the caption curiously reads, "When he's a man and not a mummy's boy." Stefflon and Burna Boy broke up sometime last year, but neither has shared the reason for the breakup, although it is widely speculated that he had cheated on her during the course of their relationship. Now, on Instagram stories, fans also think that Burna Boy responded to Stefflon's TikTok video by just simply putting "move on." Now, we know back in September, the Britain-based dancehall artist said that after her relationship ended with Burna Boy, she was not interested in dating any more artists. And of course, she went on, to give some comments on how she felt about Last, as we know who that song was all about. And she said, "It is what it is." She said, when I heard it, how did I feel? She just said when she heard certain things in it, she was like, boy, that's a lie. It's whatever. You know what I mean? So, it's a little touchy right now, Richie. But I don't know.
I have to say that I like the way Burna responded.
Yeah, let's move on.
Just move on.
One of its silly stories. Yeah. I
would have thought though by now, Stefflon would have actually put out a song that would speak
Would
to
rival
yeah. At least
Last.
she attempted something and then pulled it back.
better.
And so for it to be lingering this long, if there's any hurt there, it's kind of surprising to me. If you get my
Look for that song now.
yeah, you think so?
Yeah, man. Look for that song.
Well, she has a worldwide deal that will take her brand much wider across the globe.
Yeah.
So let's see what she does.
I love Stefan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really want she follow up Burna. I'm gonna want Burna follow her up either, cause right now the music look good. Yeah, I mean, so just left out. I mean, even though still, like I said a while ago, people are gonna tune in because them like the little drama, but left it, yeah, man, Steph. You see me for the
Those
Jamaica.
are not the songs that necessarily make you make the most money.
Yeah,
necessarily.
What, breakup songs?
Yeah, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
If it's done well.
like last
Like last
All right. We have, on a side note, Beanie Man's son, Moses Davis Jr., his mother has passed at the age of 59. The young man, Moses Davis Jr., says, "Never would I ever imagine making this post until years from now, but life doesn't always go the way you want. Mommy, my heartbeat, my soul, my queen, my everything. You left us on October 23, 2022, and ever since then, my life has gone into shambles, and I've gone into the darkness," the young man wrote. Moses Davis Jr., who suffers from sickle cell trait, also shared his last conversation with his mother. He said, "I will never forget you or anything that you have done for me. You've set a foundation for your children, and we will take care of it, making sure nothing goes in vain. The last thing you said to me was to make sure I take care of myself, and although you're not here physically, I know you're up above watching me with every step that I take." So it's a sad note. We express our condolences to Moses Davis Jr. and to his family. Of course, Beanie Man was recently in Africa. Kampala, I think, is where he was. And the show was not well attended. Yeah, it is believed the promoter did not do a good job, and there were several other events that were more publicized happening. What I saw was what looked like about 300-400 people. And it's emerging on social media where it seems Beanie Man took to the sat on one of the speaker boxes and shed a tear, and he actually said, I think he said, "This show brings a tear to my eye, a smile to my face, and something to his heart," and kind of wiped tears at the end of his performance as he was exiting the stage. He kind of said he hopes that he never has reason to work with that promoter again. So it seems something went wrong, and this is after 13 years that he was going back.
Is that it?
Yeah, that is the performance. That's the performance. Yeah, see him wiping his eyes. That could be sweat.
Yeah.
But then further on in the performance, he actually takes to the to one of the speaker monitors, and he seemingly, to be honest with you, now that I'm seeing it on a bigger screen here, I'm thinking that I'd love to see the point where he actually, so Jay is trying to find it by scanning through as quickly as possible. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the support was not there, and these things depend a lot on the promoters. Also, we want to say congratulations to Coffee, who has teamed up with a man who now refers to himself as There.
There.
You know who I'm talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very talented artist.
Sam Smith. Blessed with a really, really unique voice. He's a British singer, and he has tapped people like Coffee, Ed Sheeran, among others, for his new project that's coming out. Jesse Reyes and Kim Petras are all on it. And Coffee, I think, is featured in a song called "Gimme," and that is a very good look for her. Yeah, teaming up with Sam Smith. He's a big seller, especially in Europe, in the UK. Yeah, and that will give her a much greater exposure. So that's a good look. Congratulations to you, Coffee.
Big up, Coffee.
And we see what your song does with you and There, as Sam Smith now calls himself.
You and
There. Their. I'm not making this up, by the way.
That's what,
It is what it is.
There, them.
He's now called
There. That is what Iman. That's a plural, right?
Yeah.
That's he and himself and his
There. Is there?
Sidekick? I don't know.
But that's just a
Sidekick?
load, yeah, but
Yeah, moving right along.
yeah, but no, yeah.
Yeah, anything else will not be a part of the story. It would be sheer speculation.
Exactly.
So let's move. Let's move on.
Let's go here.
Yeah, let's go right here, which is the outro. That should get everybody up. Time for the proverb of the day.
Jackass said the world na level.
Huh?
Oh,
Jackass said the world na level.
okay.
I've heard this one before,
Yeah, Jackass said the world on a level.
but do I know what it means?
Jackass
No.
said the world na level.
Oh, trust me, I heard y'all. I heard it. I just don't know it.
Life isn't fair.
That's what it means?
That's the short meaning of it. Life isn't fair. Jackass said the world no level. So, yeah.
Life.
pretty
I
much.
don't know. I'm trying to find the correlation. I don't know. But you know
It
me and
also
Proverbs
means
already.
Life is so unfair. It's almost what Jackass is really saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that is what that proverb means. I hope you understand that and you accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackass said the world on a level. Life isn't fair. All right.
Okay.
Now we move on to our pet peeve of the morning, and this morning we have one of our Bridge listeners from the Bridge Nation that will share their pet peeve with us. What are pet peeves? Pet peeves are things that people do that upset you, annoy you, irritate you. And here's the pet peeve of the morning.
My biggest pet peeve is people wasting my time. I'm a very busy individual, so if we set an appointment for 9 a.m. and you don't show until 10, then, I mean, effectively you just throw my entire day off. And hey, I understand that things happen, but, you know, give me a heads up so, you know, we can reach out to everybody else, you know, and let them know and not have me look unprofessional. You understand? If you don't respect time, yeah, that's top for me on the pet peeve list.
Yeah.
All right, so I missed the first part of what you were saying.
Yeah, man. I want to say, yo, his pet peeve is when people waste his time.
Oh,
You know what I mean? At least he has like a what do I call that now? Like him kind of have like a contingency plan. Like, because you have some people from you waste them time, they don't want to hear from you again, you know. But he's at least saying like, yo, listen, you know, if you see you running late, just make him know. And he'll let, you know, he'll shift things around. Because his time, he sounds quite like the professional. So I'm going to guess his time is money. So, you know what I mean? Big up himself. But I agree with him. But I'm going to give you another reason why this affect me, Richie. Because it means, man, you know, I'm laid back and things. So if somebody said them not about a fault, all right. You see me? That's not what I asked for nothing again. But
just
like,
take off your clothes and go up.
yeah, yeah, simple. But you have some case now, like, Sajay, you don't want to. When she says she'll come check you. Jesus, oh, they don't want the chance. Yeah, man, you go clean up the whole house. And then she just boss like, nah, but I forward. Yeah, man, them thing there. See, people fight for less. Woo! So yeah, time.
That's a young people's version.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, man, time wasting. Serious thing.
You saw Sajay's reaction.
Yeah, man, no.
The man jump up out and cheer and walk around about 6 times in a circle.
Yeah.
That hits home.
Yeah, man.
Well, the moral of that story is always just keep the place tidy, you know. So even if there's a cancellation,
That is true. That is true.
I know easier said than done.
Yeah.
OMG. We have an interview segment that's about to begin, and you know, it is said that there are increasingly louder whispers in government circles that Prime Minister Andrew Holness is planning a reshuffle of his cabinet before the end of this year. After being elected to serve a second consecutive term in 2020, Holness announced his first cabinet reshuffle in January of this year. It is said that, or believed, that the Prime Minister wants some fresh thinking for the leadership of some ministries, and he's also keeping an eye on the next general election as we approach the midterm of the 2020 victory, said a source recently. Some of the changes will reflect the Prime Minister's dissatisfaction with how the ministries are performing, but we'll also look at least 2 strategic shifts which will be designed to ensure that while the party remains in government, the political machinery remains in good condition. a lot of that is speculation, but I want to pick the brain of our good friend, Mr. Kevin Obrien Chang, who is a well-known political and social commentator on this particular matter. Good morning, Kevin. How are you doing today?
Giving thanks, Richie. How are you doing?
Not too bad at all. Shelz is here with me as well.
Greetings, Mr. Chan. Good morning.
Greetings, man.
All right. Kevin, if the cabinet reshuffle actually takes place before the end of the year, it would seem like it's happening a little early. What is your reading and what is your take on that?
Well, rumors are that they're going to be local government elections next February. That's what a lot of people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's well overdue. And of course, JLP having a conference coming up this weekend. So I guess maybe it's a way to liven up the faithful, you know. I mean, remember, politics, you know, is about running the country, but it's also a source of entertainment for people. You know, they like to see political things they can talk about. And, you know, maybe they like to changes. Like everything else in life, people like changes and variety and new faces. So a lot of things in the mix. And then, of course, there are some ministries where the people, and in the end, it's the governance of the country. The people feel the ministries are not being that well run, and there are people who could run it better. So it's a mixture of practicality and entertainment, in my view.
What, in your view, would be some of those ministries that could possibly be on the radar for a change of leadership?
Well, of course, the ministry in Jamaica that everybody's always dissatisfied with is the Ministry of Security, because murders, they just don't keep going down. Since about 2004, 2005, we've been stuck with this one of the world's highest murder rates, or the highest, you know. And no matter who has gone there, things have not gotten better, except the late Dwight Nelson, when murders fell under him, because of there's a state of emergency then, and the murders fell. But since then, everybody has failed, basically, in terms of the murder count when they left was higher than the murder count when they came in. And Dr. Horace Chang, funnily, the murder count is lower currently than when he came in, because they had a state of emergency. It fell from 1,600 to 1,300. Mm-hmm. But since that was stopped, it's been creeping back to that 1,500, 1,600 mark. The question with Horace Chang and the Minister of Security is, if you replace him, who wants the job? It's a poison chalice. No one has done well there. Nobody's reputation has gone up. And so I suspect Mr. Holness was to go to people and say, do you want this job? Most are going to say, no, bro, God, I don't want that. You know? So that's the thing. Most people I talk to, people stop me, I talk to them how the politics are going, I ask them. Most are telling me, I get a very similar answer most of the time. Bro, God not gone too bad, but the crime out of control. Mm-hmm. People feel other things are moving in the right direction, but the crime has the country in fear. People want to live safely. Yeah. And that's not the case in Jamaica, unfortunately. And so people want something to change.
Outside of the Ministry of National Security, are there any other ministry that is coming up on the radar for a change of leadership that you're hearing?
Well, what I hear is that Favour Williams, education. People respect her technical ability and her brain, but the EQ, some people say, is lacking. She's not warm enough for a ministry that is a very people-oriented one. Tufton seems to be popular on the ground. The dead baby thing, he owned up to it and dealt with it, so it's not phasing people a lot. Where I hear a lot of cries are, they want the oldsters shifted out. They figure you've done, you good and faithful servant, you've done a good job, but time for somebody new. Mr. Samuda, especially Carl Samuda, and also Audley Shaw. People want young people moved up, maybe a Floyd Green or somebody like that stepped up to give a full ministry. They want, some, fresh blood, young blood. So those are the main things I am picking up when I talk to people.
But it's one thing to shuffle, but does the Prime Minister have the kind of options that, maybe he would want to move people around like that?
Well, the JLP is fortunate that there's a lot of young talent. There's a lot of young MPs. The also thing I hear is also Judith Holness. She's probably the most senior MP, not to be a minister. And the people are saying, why? She's very capable. She seems to be very honest and outspoken. But of course, Prime Minister, do you want your wife in the cabinet with you? And then you go home in the evening and quarrel again over something else. There's personal relationships there, husbands and wives. It's a tricky thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing to pick up. But there's a lot of talent in the JLP from what you see. A lot of bright young people. And even the state ministers who are junior ministers, as they call them, can be promoted. Xavier Main and Leslie Campbell, they're all very educated people. So I don't think he lacks for talent.
Okay.
It's a matter of politics,
Mm-hmm.
For example, Mr. Samuda has been there for a long time. He has had Andrew Holness's back when he had the leadership race. There's a question of loyalty. I was there fighting for you when ships were down, and you're going to boot me out now. So it's always a tricky thing, being a prime minister. But then he asked for the job, and that's why people gave it to him. These are problems you should be able to solve, sir. That's why we elected you.
Now, Mr. Chang, seeing that this would be the second reshuffle if it were to happen, do you see that, do you see any negative impacts on the party?
So, reshuffle, no, like I said, politics is a part of it is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica is a small country, so our politicians are bigger celebrities than in most other countries, Yes, the MP, what is MP? I think that's why they don't want to go personally. It's like the athletes, you always say the athletes don't want to retire, they're old and they can't do it anymore. But the glory and their claim, it's hard to give up. And I think that's how it is with the politicians. They're stars. They're, a minister, you're a big man in town. All of a sudden you move the ministry, you're a, older man and, not much on your hands to do. So I think that's part of it. But listen, as a prime minister, one of your jobs your main job is to make the country run properly. And part of making the country run properly is having the best people in charge of the ministries, no matter what. Your loyalty should only go so far. If the ministry is not being run well or somebody, the energy has run low, as with older people, need more fresh energy, it's your job to just bite the bullet and do what you have to do, sir, to make the country run properly. That's how I think most people think.
As a political observer, Kevin, are you hoping, do you have a mark on any particular member to emerge as, getting onto a ministry to run? And who would those be?
As I say, I've said it before, and people said, why I keep saying it, but because I hear the cry of Juliet Holden.
Juliet, okay. Outside of her, though.
People are confident. Xavier Main, as I said, you go to the junior ministers first, right?
Okay, uh-huh.
Xavier Main and Leslie Campbell and the other names there. The juniors are supposed to be the ones in waiting. That's why you have them there. They're the substitutes on a football team ready to come on the field. So if you're going to promote people, the first place you look is to the junior ministries. That it's like I said, the football analogy. Yeah, the man tired, put on a fresh substitute to come on. That's where you would look first.
Yeah.
It's a natural progression. You put your junior ministries on as full ministries, and then you get some of the non-juniors now, because a lot of young MPs in the JLP, the youngest, the last batch was probably the youngest, and then the most female. A lot of female want gender equality, justifiably so. The women in Jamaica are doing the men in every sphere. The people feel we'd want more women in the cabinet. Mm-hmm. That's one of the cries here also,
All right. Kevin, can I just pick your brain on one other item before you go? And that has to do with remarks that are regarded as racial remarks that were made by Warmington recently. Do you think they're of such value that the JLP could suffer any kind of a fallout?
No, I don't think race is a major issue for politics in Jamaica. Let's face it, we're mostly a black country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you be black people, naturally, the majority will always want to feel respected. So it is there, but it's not a number one issue for Jamaica. It's like 10. If you bring it up, it becomes important. If somebody says something. So, for example, Mark Golding, I don't think race is his problem. It's the fact that he's not talking sense. Edward Seaga was unpopular for a while, but was it his race or his abrasive personality? I believe the latter. And I don't think it will be a big factor in the election in the end. And really, what is happening with Warmington, I believe, for years the PNP sang My Father Barnia, right? Taunted Edward Seaga. And the Labour feel, my turn now. Me I got joke you. Same knife, stick, goat, stick, sheep. So it's more of a political thing. And remember, Warmington was defending Siaga. You know, he was hardly calling for a race war against whites. He was saying, thought Mr. Siaga sing my lead against him, our time now. It's more of a tit-for-tat thing in my belief. But of course, race is so sensitive. It has destroyed so many countries. We have to be wary that genie does not let out of the bottle. We're fortunate, I believe, that Jamaica has better race relations than most countries. But you always have to be wary that you don't want it to become an issue. But I come in the end that the 90% black people will always want that we want justice, that don't want to be disrespected. Mm-hmm. And so there are sensitivities about Mark Golding's British ancestry and all that. I don't believe that. And he said Mark Golding could turn it to his advantage, you know. Talk about his father. His father was almost a stain. Sir John Golding, don't matter he was from England, Britain or not. Mm-hmm. He had so many Jamaicans with polio, the polio center. He has done more than 99% of Jamaicans. So Mark Golding, to me, she turns around and said, on the top of my father, let me tell you what he did for this country. That would be a smart political move and good for the country.
Okay. Kevin, always a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Man.
All right, take care. All right, bye-bye. Social and political commentator Kevin Obrien Chang. Robert Ranks, good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon to you for UK. What's up?
Hey, good morning. And good morning to Cavell. I haven't seen her in a little while. Yeah. Lovely lady. Looked after me when we was in Jamaica.
Okay.
I'm saddened that she's been walking.
Yeah.
How could you do that to her?
I'm telling you, man. There's a strike on as you speak, Robo.
I heard.
For taxi and buses. They're calling for the government. Many of these brothers and sisters out there as taxi operators involved in public transportation, they get tickets from the police over a period of time, some amounting to scores, over 100 in some instances. And they are contending, part of it is that some of these tickets were issued unfairly because they have nowhere to park, and then they're being given parking tickets at the same time. There's also the issue of whether or not there are many issues that they're talking about. They're saying that when they pay the tickets, it's not being cleared off from the system. And so that is a part of the issue that they're having. And then they're also asking for an amnesty where they can be granted whether 3 months or 6 months to pay off what is outstanding, because tickets can run out $10,000 and more dollars. You know what I mean?
That actually sounds really fair. And a lot of people will point fingers at workers who decides to strike. We have that situation going on in the UK, as you know, with now nurses, which is going to cripple the National Health Service when they go on strike. I mean, you've seen strikes, but you see when the nurses go on strike, this is where we are in a deep state. People strike over pay, working conditions, pensions, and the reason why it's happening, what some commentators would say is, why are you guys doing this now? Can't you see the country's just trying to get on its feet? No, the pandemic has come and just thrown all of this to light. This has been going on for years. Bad condition, bad pay, bad administration. It's highlighted the problem, and workers are, whether you agree or don't agree, are using this moment to highlight their problems. And this is one of the things that has come out of this 3-year Harlan pull-up, which we've had as a world. It's all over. It's here in the UK, and it just shows you how poor things have been in the last decade for workers out there. So I'm not saying I'm not here saying I'm here with the strike, people that strike and cause disruption, but voices has to be heard. We've heard enough talking from administrators and leaders, a lot of talking over the last 2 years. A bag of talk. So let the people them talk. That's just my opinion. Good morning, Jamaica.
And by extension, talk to the people as well, because if the associations are asking for a meeting from those who head the transport ministry or their affiliates, I think it is fair that at least they be allowed a meeting to express themselves and just try to work out a solution. And maybe it would not have gotten to this stage if a meeting was held. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes it feels like our leaders don't feel they're on the same par level as the people. They've been given a chance to govern in these serious conditions, and I think sometimes it's this has kind of got to a lot of people's head. You as you say, Richie, you're going to work, you work for someone. At some point, you're gonna have a meeting with your managers. We have this system that's been built up for many years where we only have the meeting with the managers every 4 years, and it's called election. That's not good enough. So even in the role that the capacity of leaders, we should be having more conversations, more dialogue, more devolved governments where things are handed down to local administrators. Then those conversations could be had. But sad to hear people having troubles this morning. You know, it's a Monday for us here in the afternoon, and yeah, it's still pretty much blue and bleak out there in the streets. But yeah, London is up, and we're listening.
Yeah.
So let's turn to the bright side, I suppose.
Do you think that this footballer should be fined $1 million because he came out swinging on the weekend, talking about the issues he's having with his manager at Man U?
I don't know if he should be fined. I definitely think that he should be disciplined for speaking like out of terms against the club. But I don't think money, if it was $1 million, would be an issue for Cristiano Ronaldo. He knows that after the World Cup, he's gonna find himself a new club, and more than likely, he's going to do bits at the World Cup. So it really doesn't make no difference to him. But I'm pretty sure Man United must be seething. They had the chance to let him go at the beginning of the season, and they felt, no, those shirt sales, oh my. I mean, £800 million in shirt sales.
Can you imagine?
And everybody talks about, you know, this Manchester United model is so great. That's what they made out of signing him to the club. So listen, you know, you play with fire, you get burned.
To be fair, Manchester United have actually issued a statement saying that they're extremely disappointed with the interview that Ronaldo
we all
did.
are, because you shouldn't have gone on Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
We don't like Piers Morgan first. Should have gone and done it with Oprah Winfrey or something like that. Come on, Cristiano. Come on.
I think the result would have been the same though, because of the anger that he's feeling against the club.
What I'm
But
wondering,
don't you find? I mean, people say he's, you know, petulant and what. He's been a professional for over 20 odd years.
Yeah, when you
He
bench the
must
man,
know what he's talking about.
when
He
you
must.
bench the man so often and then the team goes on to win it's not a good look for him at all. Even yesterday when they beat Fulham, he didn't play, right?
oh no, apparently he's not feeling well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
You had a
there's
point,
obviously some.
Shelz.
Yeah, no, because we're speaking about the fine that he's probably, you know, he's
the
going to
1
have to
million
pay, the 1
possibly.
million. I'm wondering another fine is going to have to come up from Wayne Rooney, because I don't know how Wayne Rooney got in it as well, Robert. Apparently, Cristiano said, I don't know why he criticizes me so badly, speaking about Wayne Rooney. Probably because he finished his career and I'm still playing at a high level. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm looking better than him, which is true.
Oh man!
Bear in mind,
He
Wayne
didn't go there, did he?
Rooney is younger than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. He came out swinging.
People are going to be talking about this for a while yet. Trust me.
But before I leave about coming out swinging, your guy's not, Harry Potter's not swinging too well over at Chelsea. Shelz, what's going on there, man?
I mean,
he was you know, the great British manager. You know what I mean? He's gonna do the job. He's gonna be so great.
I don't know. Well,
He's another Frank Lampard, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, there's so many factors, you know. We know injuries and all that, but the honeymoon phase is over. That's all I can say as a Chelsea fan. The honeymoon phase is over. I didn't think
you even got to the church with Harry Potter.
Not because Audley is silent. Primarily it is because his team also lost.
Yeah, big up Brentford.
Hey, listen me.
Manchester City.
Listen me. Robbo.
Yeah, Brentford did the league a favor, I guess.
Hey, now's your chance, you know. Jamaica. Ivan Toney looks like he'll never play for England.
Oh, he has
There
Jamaican
should be
heritage?
a call up there. Come on.
Oh, I
Put
didn't
your
know
finger
Tony.
out, Ivan Toney.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he had Jamaican heritage. Okay.
I don't know if he's got Jamaican heritage, but it's
Somewhere.
worth a try.
Yeah, we have to search. Somewhere in there. Yeah, I agree.
Search the DNA.
Yeah.
Try find something. Yeah.
I'm just looking at something that you sent me a while ago, and it's quite funny.
Sorry, Richie. Sorry, I had to do it.
Quite distracting, actually.
Yeah, I had to do it. But
Shell,
listen, it's been a great afternoon here.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure Jamaica will continue their day on the Bridge 99. We'll continue our day on the Beat 103.
Quick one.
We'll check in again.
Quick one. The Jamaica Reggae Girls actually lost to Paraguay yesterday 2-1, but
Yes.
they had one in Montego Bay 1-0. So it was even Steven on that 2-match series between Paraguay and the Reggae Girls. All right.
Oh, I saw the win. I didn't know it was a 2-match series. I saw the first win.
Yeah,
I thought, great.
At the stadium it was yesterday. We had some terrible weather, though, and I think the field might not have been at its best. Anyhow, they were not humiliated, and they look good for the most part.
Yes.
All right. Big up the reggae girls.
Yes,
Straight,
sir.
straight.
Take care. Have a great day today, bro.
And you too. Peace,
All right.
team.
Every
up.
time.
Yes.
That was Robo Ranks, ladies and gentlemen. Bridge Nation coming to us all the way from the UK. We got some important matters to look at, and that has to do with the transportation across the nation. And you would have been aware of the fact that taxi operators yesterday voted, and bus drivers, I should say, voted for an island-wide shutdown of the public transport sector today, starting today, given that the government has not granted a traffic ticket amnesty request that they have made. They believe that a request for the amnesty would go to the cabinet this Monday, but were informed on the weekend that it would not. This has triggered the protest action being taken this morning, and it seems to be all across the island. For more reports, at a meeting hosted by the TODS group, that is the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, at the Halfway Tree Primary School in St. Andrew yesterday afternoon, some 99% of those present voted for the strike action. Egerton Newman is the president of TODS, and he's here with us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Newman.
Blessings, man.
Good morning and welcome. How are you doing, sir?
Well, as you will be aware, not too good, not too bad, but we're hanging on, waiting on our minister to say a word to us this morning that will help us to return back to work and await amnesty.
Let me assume not too good because you've not heard what you want to hear from the government, and not too bad because you're satisfied with the action being taken and the response out there?
Let me say, I'm not satisfied with the action being taken by our members this morning. We did not, from a sector, want this form of action. What we want is for the government to come to the table with us and say, listen, you guys have scores of outstanding tickets. I'm going to give you some time, a payment plan to pay for these tickets without the police being on our backs. Like, you know what. That's what we really wanted. The withdrawal of service is not the right thing, right? But we have to do it because we are not getting the right word from government at this time.
This is an ongoing issue, but did the statement that was made by a member of the Transport Authority, which basically intimated that some taxi operators and so on might end up spending Christmas in jail, did that inflame the situation further?
Let me be very quick to say it was not from a member of the Transport Authority, to which we have a very cordial relationship. They would not go to make a statement like that. The statement came from the head of the Island Traffic Authority, Mr. Kahenga, which was an unfortunate statement. He retracted, and of course we have been in dialogue since then. But that was the straw that breaks the camel back.
Do you think that the action being taken today, though, will get the attention of the government, and are you expecting to get a call for a meeting and for the issues you're putting forward to be discussed?
I have great confidence that the discussion with the government will continue today, this afternoon, because we have been having discussion with the Minister of Transport and with even the Minister of Information on the subject. We believe, though, that there are other players in the cabinet who need to come to the table, persons like the Minister of Finance, because, amnesty is a money thing, and as also the Minister of National Security. We're not hearing from them. But we think by the end of the day, the government will come to us with a word that will allow our members to return to work and prepare themselves for a payment plan to pay their outstanding tickets. They want to pay the tickets, but they really need a plan to pay.
Okay. That's feeding right into my question, Mr. Newman. Morning once again. Shelz here. Many are of the opinion that taxi drivers with the outstanding tickets are at fault and should pay up. And, some of them, are probably, what about some who are just hiding under the guise of, because I believe that you actually have genuine taxi operators who, because of the old system, we're kind of like victims of the old system. But I think, what about those who are just kind of like piggybacking on those?
Let me agree with you, because I got a member called me this morning and said, Mr. Newman, thanks for the amnesty, because I have a number of tickets from 2002. And I said, what? But you passed 2 amnesty, why you didn't pay for them?
Yeah.
So there are a number of operators who are hiding under the guise. They don't want to pay their tickets. But you must also remember, there's a great deal of operators who have paid for the ticket and the ticket returned. We have a guy with 76 receipt Mr. Newman, see, I pay for them already, but see, this year they come back as not paid. And there are scores of persons who have that problem. Remember now, a man with a Hackney carriage vehicle get a license to operate, pick up and set down anywhere it is feasible for him in the KMTR. If you go on the road now, you know that every corner of the road is painted yellow. He cannot stop nowhere, the passenger. He can't pick up nowhere, so he's going to get a ticket. So most of the tickets in the KMTR are written for that sake. They are wrong. It's against the law. You must find a facility for these guys to sit down and pick up. If the license said if we don't provide a park, at least provide bus taxi stops for them.
Give us some more. Give us some more details as to what you're asking for with the amnesty. Is it a 1 month? Yes, go ahead.
Let me just say, there are at least 1,000 taxi and bus operators who are contesting their tickets in court right now, and some of those tickets the court cases are taking up to 2 years to complete. The police are not coming to court to provide a report. So we are suffering with days we can't work in court for hours. So what I'm saying is that we will sit down today. The government speak to us today. We will return to work tomorrow, but we are waiting on a word from our minister, who I think is a little bit slow. And of course, once we get a good word from him or any other such minister attached to the situation, we will return to work.
What reports are you getting in terms of the strike action? Is it all across the island? We are getting samples from different parts of the island, but what can you tell us?
Well, the reports coming to me from my persons on the road, my contact persons, is that it's right across the island, pockets right across the island in the major townships, and there are operators who are not working. There are some areas where they say they didn't hear, and not absolutely true, because there are just under 40,000 of them, so everybody couldn't hear the report at the same time. But yes, right across the island, there are pockets of persons who have stopped working.
All right, so if the Minister of Transport is not able to meet with you today, but gives you a date for, say, another couple of days from now, would that mean that the taxi operators and bus drivers would return to work? I'm trying to get to how long do you think the strike might last?
If we get a feasible word from the minister or any of his colleagues today, we could stop work as early as today. We could start working back as early as today. Once the word from the government is feasible, it's something we can work with, we are willing to return to work. Because, see, the commuters are suffering, you know. We work with them every single day. We don't really want to withdraw our services, but because the plight we are in, we have outstanding tickets, the police are ready to take us to jail, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we went to work in this morning. It must be clear.
Your final words to two sets of people, the taxi and bus drivers and to commuters in parting.
Let me first take the taxi and bus operators. For heaven's sake, if you're not working, stay off the road. Don't get engaged in any wrongdoings on the road today. Leave other people to go about their lawful business. That's my strong word to them. And to the commuters, please bear with us. We understand your plight this morning. Some schools are closed because of this. Please understand where we stand. We have outstanding tickets we want to pay, and we are asking for a payment plan. Bear with us one other day.
And the plan, are you looking at 3 months, 6 months, a year? What are you asking for? Or will you be asking?
My proposal to government is that at maximum give us 6 months. At minimum give us 4 months. That's time enough to pay. And don't put us in jail for Christmas.
You believe that will be adhered to once it's granted?
The good thing that the minister has looked at it and he thought it is feasible.
Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much, Egerton Newman. Have a good day.
Respect.
Most welcome.
All right. He's the president of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, looking at the issues regarding transportation across the nation as taxi and bus drivers are, in fact, on strike. We're going to be going on into an interview segment now, though, and we're going to be talking to the founder and head of operations at the Small Gestures Big Impact Outreach Program, who believe that no matter how small the gesture is, it can have a great impact on someone's life. This year, they will be having their annual Christmas initiative called the Operation Spread the Love, and they're hoping to provide support to at least 3 children's homes. The initiative is comprised of a canned food drive, personal hygiene kits and Christmas gifting. And we're going to be talking to the founder and head of operations, Anna Lisa Taylor. Good morning, Ms. Taylor. How are you today?
Good morning, Richie. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. Season's greetings to you, Anna. Talk to us about this Small Gestures, Big Impact Outreach Program. How and when did this program actually get started?
It was founded on June 14, 2019, and it comprises of a group of 13 persons, mostly close friends, but we're looking to expand so that we can have a greater reach.
What was the reception like when you got started?
Well, it was good. Our first initiative was at the Jamaica National Children's Home, and we had a lot of support throughout the 3 years that we've been in operation, and for that we are very grateful.
You do have an operation called the Operation Spread the Love. This is a Christmas initiative. Give us some more details on that, if you will, Anna.
So we are hoping to provide support to at least 3 children's homes, as you have stated before. We know that Christmas is a season of giving, and oftentimes children who are within these homes tend to be forgotten, so to speak. So we want to include them in the festivities. We want to spread some love and share to them during this season. We want to know that they are seen and heard and they are loved.
And how can persons actually get involved if they would like to in this operation?
So they can send us a message on our Instagram page at SGBI_outreach, or they can send me a WhatsApp message at 336-8795.
Have you been getting good responses so far? How is it going?
It has been going good. Persons have been sharing the message, so to speak. So we're hoping for a good result.
Okay. When you look at the last operation that you had, would you be able to tell us like how many children benefited? And I noticed that you say there are 3 children's homes being targeted this year. Approximately how many children are you hoping will benefit this year?
Well, for the 3 children's home, the amount of children, the number of children varies. So we would look at about 200 children, so to speak, at least 200. Some of these homes, they cater to persons with special needs, so we also have to take that into consideration.
Okay. And last time out, you were able to benefit a similar number?
Yes. Well, we were able to give back, not as much, but we gave back to the Jamaica National Children's Home, Sophie's Place, and Maxfield Park Children's Home. And we believe that the little that we had to give was able to help and to impact a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And every miracle really makes a muckle, as Jamaicans would say.
Yes, indeed. And I want to tell you straight up that, we commend you and your team of young persons primarily who are, taking on these kinds of initiatives. We commend you, and we hope that you'll find it possible to continue. I noticed you were on our screen in what looked like a graduation gown. Are you a recent graduate of the University of the West Indies?
I graduated last year, 2021, from the University of the West Indies, where I pursued a double major in international relations and social policy and development.
All right. Brilliant stuff. Finally, before you go then, Anna, how can you be contacted? Just remind us, please.
So you can contact us on Instagram at SGBI_outreach or 876-336-8795.
All right. I want to thank you for coming on the program this morning here on the bridge and giving us more details on this operation and the plans that you have. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Anna Lisa Taylor, the founder and head of operations at the Small Gestures, Big Impact Outreach Program. And, our next guest is an interesting one. He started his musical journey smack in the middle of the pandemic, so it's not that long ago. His name is Reagan Kahenga, and he started singing at an early age in Sunday school, after which his mom started encouraging him, to serve the Lord God Almighty and to give his life to Christ, which he did in 2016, where he also began ministering at Torrent of Kerith Church in Kinshasa. Well, come 2019, Reagan decided to move to Uganda, where he officially started his music. He released his first single in 2020 and continued his music ministry and proceeded to release his newest single, which is titled Testify, and that came out earlier this year. He's quite a singer that is building quite a name for himself, and we're pleased to have him on the program with us this morning. Praise the Lord and good morning, Reagan Kahenga. Reagan, how you doing?
Blessings, Reagan.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are doing well, and we're happy to have you. Do we find you in Africa this morning? Someplace?
Yes, in Uganda.
You are presently
I'm in Uganda.
In Uganda, which is,
Yeah.
you actually, is it that you moved to Uganda in 2019? Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
But where were you born?
I was born in DRC.
Okay. So you were an adult when you actually moved over into Uganda.
Yeah.
How has it been in terms of a new environment, settling in? What has the experience has been like? Are you loving Uganda?
Okay. Uganda is a welcome country. Okay. But what I can say is Uganda is good. It's good. People are good. Food are good. Something like that.
Yes.
All right, now Reagan, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm curious to find out in what ways did your mother encourage your faith, because that's a big part of your life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I said in my biography, I was born in DRC, Lubumbashi. Then in 2016, yeah, my mother, because she's the one bring me, into God things, something like that. Because I was okay. What can I say? I was a good boy, but going to church was difficult for me. Going to church was difficult for me, but my mother was there to always tell me, Reagan, you have to serve God. Reagan, you have to become a Christian. You have to give your life to God. Then many times she was tell me, something like that. Then I decided to give my life to God in 2016. In 2016.
Nice. And you began ministering as a result. But how did music find you? Like, how did that journey begin?
Okay. The journey began, I think, in 2017. Yeah, 2017, when I joined, the choir. I joined the choir in Torrent of Kerith Church in Kinshasa. Then I started, practicing slowly with my chief. Slowly, after I remember in 2018, I did a school music. Yes, I did a school music for 6 months. Then after that, I become able to defend myself. Then I decided, to to do music as a profession.
Nice.
Well, I tell you, it's quite an interesting journey that you've had, Reagan. Please forgive me for not having said to you Kikati at the beginning of the interview, which is hello, and I should really have said Oli Otya, which is how are you?
Nibulunji. Nibulunji Sebo.
There you go. Now you got my drift. He must have been surprised. Why is this guy who speaks English coming to talk African to me? All right. Give us a little detail now on your latest single, which is titled Testify. That came out earlier this year. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Okay. Testify, as it said, Testify is not only a song, but it's something like a testimony. I got it. I was practicing with my friends. He was playing a guitar for me. Then after that, melody started coming, in my spirit. Then after that, we decided, to go to the studio. But okay, it was not easy. But we did it. That song, as many things inside. There is it's a praise song. It's a testimonial song. It's a worship song. Because it's a song which I used to say what God did for me, what God did for my family, for my friends. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Nice.
We have been seeing where a lot of African artists are gaining worldwide popularity, primarily using Afro beats. Do you use those kinds of beats and rhythms in your music?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, we got a chance, Shelz, to hear what Testify sounds like.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, and are you on social media, Reagan? And if so, where can you be found?
Yes, I am. I'm on Instagram, Reagan Kahenga. I'm on TikTok, Reagan Kahenga. I'm on Facebook, Reagan Kahenga, and YouTube. Okay, my song is on the channel of on the label channel, RO Management. There you can find the video. But on Instagram is Reagan Kahenga, Facebook Reagan Kahenga, and TikTok Reagan Kahenga.
Okay. Well, my African is not as good as your English, but I'm going to close out by saying. Listen, he starts to laugh. I just want to get one word in, and that is to say, in closing, "Wiraba" means goodbye.
Oh, goodbye too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care. All the best to you, Reagan Kahenga. And he's over there in Uganda. And doing good with the music. We're going to play Testify. We're doing it right now or right after the GOJ Minute? Do it now? We're going to play Testify right now. And that was a good chat with a young entertainer of African descent, Reagan Kahenga.